Sitting along the shores of the Mekong River in northern Laos is a rather unassuming city of about 100,000 people. It's a beacon of hope in a historically poor region, one dependent on the drug trade to survive. But now, money is flowing in. People all around the world travel to see it, and it actually seems to be booming for once. Just across the river is the Thai town of Sapurak. No bridge connects these cities. In fact, when one was offered, locals rejected the proposal. Although it may look on the surface like Sapurak is the worst place to be, signs warn Thai residents not to cross the river for fear of being caught into one of the worst crime and human trafficking rings on earth. One where workers are trapped to generate billions in a scam industrial complex. This is the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone, a tiny area of about 30 square kilometers contracted out by the Laotian government for 99 years to the King's Romans Group, a casino enterprise headed by the Chinese magnate Zhao Wei. Here, it's Zhao who rules rather than Laos, being the one to build the city and run its own private security force. Looking around the Golden Triangle, it's obvious why it was made. The street signs are in Chinese, the currency used is the yuan, fake Chinese Gucci and Starbucks are propped up in the city's Chinatown. They come for Las Vegas. Attracting Chinese gamblers is a big business, like unfathomably big, owing to the Chinese Communist Party's ban on gambling at home. A reported 85% of first-time Chinese travelers go to a casino, and an estimated 1 trillion yuan, about $140 billion, flows into foreign casinos every year. Macau got spectacularly rich by being the first to offer the Chinese their own gambler's paradise. Singapore and Japan have legalized gambling for their own Chinese tourists. Even North Korea has a casino to cash in on the craze. It's not crazy then that Laos might want its own, built and operated by a Chinese national no less. In the city's center sits the King's Romans, an admittedly quite kitschy casino where VIP tourists park their G-Wagons outside, exchange duffel bags full of 100 yuan notes, trying their luck at the high roller baccarat tables, or more likely scrubbing their balance sheets clean from any of the other activities which might go on in this zone. While the government has officially given Zhao this region to develop a tourist industry as fast as possible, the truth is a bit more complicated. The Golden Triangle region was once a hub for the production of opium, supplying soldiers with the drug throughout the Vietnam War. This continued as the Burmese Communist Party collapsed and ethnic armed factions in Myanmar grew to rely on the opium trade to fuel their military enterprises. But a concerted effort by the UN in the 80s and 90s, as well as competition in other parts of the world, hollowed out the region's poppy fields. Cultivated land dedicated to growing opium fell from 42,000 hectares in 1989 to 1,500 by the time of the Golden Triangle's founding in 2007. And this war against opium was spearheaded by the Chinese government, which, along with national security reasons, had a strong ideological reason to fear the opium trade near its border. So as bad as it might be to say, the collapse of the opium industry hit northern Laos hard. The Chinese government stepped in to try to alleviate some of the damage, financing rubber plantations, a high-speed train through Laos to Bangkok, and in this case, helping its entrepreneurs negotiate the rights to special economic zones around the region. Zhao Wei, who made his fortune in the timber trade, had actually run a casino in the Shan state town of Mongla before. A casino that was shut down by Chinese forces in 2003 after a high-ranking official's daughter lost 1 million yuan there. He'd also been a personal friend of the Laotian deputy prime minister of the time, who convinced the government to lease this land out to him to quickly develop this economically depressed region. And on the surface, it looks like he succeeded. There's a sea of high-rise buildings and hotels around, functioning water and sewer systems, a 6-lane boulevard with waterside villas dotted along it, a half-finished port, and the region's first airport, built in 2024 because Zhao's gambling empire had attracted over $1 billion of foreign investment within a decade. He's a man so amazing, the Laotian government has given him not one, but 2 awards for his work. One, a Medal of Development. The other, a Medal of Courage for allowing Laotian authorities to bravely raid his territory, looking for cyber scammers. Where could these bad actors possibly be? Zhao puts on a bit of a disguise, organizing community events like marathons and go-kart races, but it's a disguise so bad that he himself was sanctioned by the US Treasury back in 2018. A charge he called a unilateral, extraterritorial, unreasonable, and hegemonic act of ulterior motives and malicious rumor-mongering. Sheesh. This violated the Magnitsky Act for running a transnational crime ring of money laundering, drug distribution, and cybercrime. An estimated 85,000 scam workers work in Laos, with the majority of them working within the Golden Triangle zone, making it by far the largest profession here. They're often made of those who had been promised high wages from the poor regions of Myanmar, India, or even as far as Africa. But once in the city, their passports are confiscated, they're fenced into call center complexes and work on scamming as many people as possible. Anything from fraudulent investments to fake romances. The favorite form of scamming since COVID is pig butchering, where they will target one individual at a time, form a fake relationship with them to the point where they hire a fake actress for voice and video calls. And when trust is built, often over months to years, the scammers will tell the victim to invest in some sort of commodity or cryptocurrency, send a fake link to a real investment site, and drain their wallet, disappearing right after. It's a devastating scam for the victim, but also for the scammer, who is paid based on how many victims they can collect. It's reported that when locked in the dorms, they work for 16 hours a day, every day, with around 10 to 15 phones laid around them, open on those DMs. If their performance numbers aren't met, they're threatened with deducted pay or even physical abuse. When a small strike was organized in 2025, the organizers were detained by the Laotian police, called in from outside the zone, and had their wages and passports withheld. Very socialist of this socialist police force. To personally dodge blame, the King's Roman group subcontracts different levels of the dorm to different scamming operations, so they don't really know what's going on. What Zhao is involved in is the transport of a new drug through the region. After the collapse of opium, many of Myanmar's ethnic armies like the Kachin Independence Army and the United Wa State Army switched to methamphetamine production. In fact, at over 200 tons, border seizures of meth in Southeast Asia hit all-time highs in 2024. While most of the supply ends up in Cambodia or Thailand, the Golden Triangle serves as an excellent hub to store it and transport it through Laos, ironically making the region meant to stop drug production a hub for meth distribution. The Laotian government is unlikely to stop it. In exchange for the land, Zhao had given them $850,000 for the 99-year lease, and the Laotian government got a 20% stake in the SEZ, which is not an insignificant amount of money for them. The Laotian People's Revolutionary Party has, funnily enough, praised these special zones of private governance for their favorable business environments, the security they bring, and their economic alternatives to the drug trade. In fact, the Golden Triangle is not even the first debauching zone attempted in the country. The Golden Boten City was built for a similar purpose, yet the casino was shut down after reports of abuse towards its Chinese tourists. Now, the shell of the city remains as a ghost town to remind Laotian investors that one country still remains on top in relation to these zones. It's hard to describe what this place's government is. It's a very weird mix between private governance, yet still officially under the rule of Laos's state, but also an outpost for Beijing. The King's Romans group has the power to sublease the land how it wants, without oversight from the Laotian government, yet authority is in still some way ultimately under them, creating an odd, statelet sort of thing where criminals can get away with the lack of formal enforcement. It's not the only one too. Many of these zones have popped up along the Mekong River, as that's traditionally been where the governments of Southeast Asia want to develop in order to tame some of the borderlands' notorious crime, with many other Chinese organizations running similar scam centers across the Mekong. All these combined are estimated to have raked in $44 billion in stolen funds in 2023, nearly 3 times Laos's GDP. Who knows if it's going to last forever? The Golden Triangle is actually set to triple in population as only 30% of its land has been used for development. As long as Chinese gamblers come, it should stay open. But China has been cracking down on gambling, even outside of its borders, for quite some time now. They regularly ban the region's online casinos and have shut down casinos along its border. It's not that unplausible, seeing how Beijing loves to control the outflow of Chinese yuan from the country. They may target this place in the future, giving them a chip to play over Laos's head. Chinese authorities have already played a big part in combating the region's drug trade, positioning themselves as the Mekong's stabilizing force. Still, to the residents of Bokyo province, the scams and the casinos and selling out to the Chinese might be worth it. Sitting at the center of the zone, an exhibition hall opens to tourists with the lines, in Chinese of course, "The seductive opium and sound of gunshots have long gone. Instead, what remains are the unforgettable sounds of its nature and cultures." And if you can ignore the cries of those trapped in the fenced-off scam center complexes, I'm sure to the region with this troubled of a past, that would sound pretty nice. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us, as I will make more videos because of it, and it's a very low cost for you. And since you have time, check out this video on Sudan's troubled political history and how it will probably collapse again in the future. Thanks.